Hilchos Yom HaKippurim, beginning YK Halacha Aleph. The Rambam's Loshen, the language is Kol Avodas, all these services Sho'ever B'Bigdei Lovon, that he does in white clothing, Bifnim, Be'echol, inside the Hechol, and let's go down to the Peirush. He has to do it according to the order that we explained in Perek Dalet. If he happened to make them out of sequence, he did one before the other. Also klum. If he did, it doesn't work. As the Mishnah, this disagreement in a Brisa, Yuma 60a. When, if he does one before the other, it negates the entire situation. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's only things that are done with white garments, but those things that are done with white garments outside of the Beis HaMikdash, if we do one before the other, it's done. But only white garments inside the Beis HaMikdash, the building of the Beis HaMikdash has to be in order. According to Nehemiah, anything that's done with the white garments, whether it's inside or outside, if you did one thing for the other, it's nothing. But things that are done in gold outside, it is valid. The Rambam would seem to say that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. In the Gemara we find that there is this agreement between Tanoim in the Pasuk when it says, "This shall be for you as a chok, an eternal chok, an eternal edict." Which when it says chukah, means you cannot change it once a year. So you have two things that mitigate. Zois, it says zois lochem, and it says achas, once. Rabbi is of the opinion that one comes to tell you that if you change the work that you do in the white garments outside of the building, it does not impede. One of them learns that if you change the order of the golden garments, it does not impede. And Nehemiah is of the opinion that one minimizes that the work of in the golden garments, and one tells you that the leftover blood being poured on the base of the mizbeach, which is done in Bigdei Lovan, if he did one before the other, it does not impede. There's a question to be asked: what does it mean, the white garments inside, the white garments outside? Rashi explains, inside means in Kodesh HaKadoshim. Bachutz means what's done outside in the outer room, where the menorah, the shulchan, and the mizbeach hazov are. And that which is done outside in the courtyard, like the lottery, the confession, and pouring the extra blood on the base and placing on the Peirush HaMeir Hazov. That's in the white garments. Rashi equates the outer room to the Azorah. Anything that's done in gold garments outside, that's even though his ram, which is specifically for Yom Kippur, and the Elohim, which is specifically for the people for Yom Kippur. Because the Mishnah explains that the Rambam disagrees with Rashi, is of the opinion that the white garments inside, it means what's done inside the building. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, if you change the order of Bigdei Lovan inside the building, it's possible. Nehemiah, according to Nehemiah, the white garments, even outside, in Azorah would be possible. Since the Rambam permits white garments outside, he says there's no lack of order. Thus we see that the Rambam is of the opinion like Rabbi Yehuda. Since the Rambam says it's kosher, if you change the order outside, it must be like Rabbi Yehuda. Bostoner Rebbe explains, like the Rambam, that all the service that he does in Bigdei Lovan inside and Kodesh HaKadoshim and in the outer room, So he considers the Heichol, the outer room, as inside the building. The Rambam that writes within the building is as if he wrote inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim and in the building, the outer room. There are those later commentaries who explain the Rambam without rectifying the language of inside and the Heichol. Because in Hilchos Beis HaBchira, the Rambam writes, these are those items that are very specific in the building of the bayis. You make between Kodesh, between the Holy and the Holy of Holies, and there should be a place, and that's called the Ulam. So there's three sections. There's the Ulam, which is very wide, and the Heichol, which is the Kodesh, and the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and all three together are called Heichol. So you have Ulam, and then you have the inner room, which is separated by a curtain, and therefore you can explain the Rambam, Bifnim means every place that's called a Heichol, including the Ulam. The Lechem Mishnah questions from the Sugya in Zvochim. There we find in the Braisa, Lapor, this is the Par Yom HaKippurim. Tell you that the spraying of the blood of the par on the curtain, on the Mizbeach Hazov, impedes the order. So the Gemara says, what does he have to tell us this for? If to tell us it's out of sequence, obviously it says chukah. And we already learned that wherever it says chukah, it means you cannot have it out of order. So Nachman Yitzchak said it's not necessary only according to Rabbi Yehuda, who says when it says chukah, it's referring to those things which are done with the big day loven, bifnim, inside. Now here we have the problem. What does he mean inside? If he did one to the other, it's not valid. But those things which are done with white garments outside, then it is valid. There the Gemara continues that if you'll say that if the order does not impede, then the spraying also doesn't impede in there. So therefore, he tells us, the Posuk tells us that the order of the sprayings does impede. So the Mishnah says, it would seem from this Gemara that when we talk about the chutz, even that which is done in the Heichol is considered outside. And how can the Rambam write that what's done in the Heichol is considered like pnim? Avinu Chaim Alevi of Brisk comes up with an interesting thought that according to the Rambam, the Heichel Atzmai is divided in half. Between the Mizbeach to the Peirush, where he stands and sprays on the Peirush, is considered inside. Rabbi Yehuda has learned from the Posuk of Chukah that the sprayings are inside. But from the Mizbeach till Pesach HaHeichel is considered outside. And the Mizbeach itself is included in the inside. Therefore, the sprayings that are on the Mizbeach Hazov are considered like Avodah outside, because it's outside. Therefore, you need the Limud and Zvochim, Lapor, to tell you that what's on the Mizbeach itself also, even though it's outside, has to be in order. According to Reb Chaim, there's an added explanation that the Rambam says, Bifnim beheichol, meaning in that place in the Heichol which is considered Bifnim, meaning that portion of it where the menorah is, the Mizbeach is until the curtain. And it's the Mizbeach till the Peirush. Between the Pesach and the Mizbeach, it's considered like outside.